Hi guys, my name is Bianca and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you a bit about where I'm at in my book writing process. So in my previous videos I did say that my manuscript has now been given to my first round of beta readers. And originally that is what I intended, just for there to be one round of beta readers just to get enough feedback to fix up my book. But now that I've sort of sat on my book and I've had time to think about it, I realise that maybe that's not very practical at all. Maybe I need to go and get a second round of beta readers. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about that process and how I came to that sort of conclusion and what it's been like for me to actually give my work to other people to read. So my first draft was revised 2 times before I get to the beta readers. I knew that there was still some problems with the manuscript, but I couldn't really pinpoint what exactly I needed to do to change those problems. Like, I knew that there was some parts that I really liked and that I did well. I did know that there was going to be improvements for me to make. I guess because it's my first real full book that's written, my first serious piece of writing, I put in so much effort that I thought that yes, this is going to be pretty good. There's not going to be that much to change. You know, it just needs a bit of tidying up. But now that I've spent some time away from it and I've done a bit of research, I've realised how wrong I actually was. So I've given my work to 3 beta readers. My first beta reader has just started reading it and they've gotten through the first 2 chapters and they decided to give me a call to tell me what they thought of those 2 chapters. And like previously I knew that I wasn't really in that great of a mindset to hear it, but then I guess it's good that I do hear it because I need to get used to getting feedback from other people. Now, getting feedback from other people freaks the crap out of me. Like, I hate it. I'm such a very sensitive person. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, especially like when I was doing uni, I needed everything perfect before I could actually submit an assignment. So to be put in a position where your work, your like very personal writing is going to be looked over by other people is a really vulnerable position. To be perfectly honest with you, my first piece of feedback was not easy to hear. It didn't help that I wasn't in a really great mindset, but then it took me a bit to sort of time to digest it properly. So my first piece of feedback was with one of my first 2 chapters of my book. And they're saying that when I talk about things, I sort of skim over them. Instead of going really deep into like the characters' stories, I sort of mention something and then I flit off and I talk about the next thing. So for an example, in one scene I was talking about my main characters having a lot of nannies growing up. She was talking about hating them and she didn't really go into detail of what each nanny was like and what made her really dislike them. And originally, I thought that people wouldn't really be interested in that. Like, why would they want to know that? Like, these other characters aren't really important. But then apparently the readers do want to know that. There's going to be a lot of editing to actually put in that detail. And now that I've gotten this feedback, I think that the word count's it's going to go up a lot. It was around 53,000, something like that. And I feel like it's going to be getting closer to 60,000 once I've gone through everything again and bulked it up. And when I first heard that feedback, I was a bit like, oh shit. Like the way that they were saying it was like, this is a serious problem, you need to fix this. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I knew it's good that I could wrap my head around what needs to be fixed. I understood from the reader exactly what they were talking about, which is great. Once I start working my work again, I can just fix that all up. But then it was oh crap, it's not perfect. Oh god. It's a bit of a hit to the perfectionist in me. So to be perfectly honest, I was feeling really down once I received my first bit of feedback. So then I went and I watched a YouTuber that I've been watching a lot lately, and her name is Emily Bourne, and she's an author tuber, and she has a collection of videos about beta readers and her experiences with beta readers when she was publishing her first book. So then I went back and I watched her videos, and it's like all of this weight just got lifted off my chest, and I was like, oh my god. So she was talking about getting all of this conflicting feedback and being really criticized on really minor things when she was doing her work. And she was talking about even one reader who went through her whole document, and because she double spaced each sentence, they went and they started to take all the spaces out of the sentences. And hearing all of this really serious and like critical feedback made me feel like, oh, wow, okay, so that feedback I got before was actually kind of nothing compared to like what is gonna come and what's to be expected. So everyone has different opinions. Some people are louder in their opinions than others, and this is just perfectly normal. Like your manuscript's gonna have a lot of mistakes. When I pick up New York Times bestselling novels, there's a whole list of people who contributed to this novel. And this is what I've realized from this process, that you may think that this is a solitary journey, writing your own book and then working through your book, but it's actually not. It's really important to have connections with other people, especially like other writers and people who can really give you honest feedback on your work. And this is sort of a wake-up call for me to actually start building connections with other people, maybe like other YouTubers and other people like in my writing groups that I'm part of on Facebook. And I really need to work on probably getting more beta readers, because I only have 3 beta readers for my first book, and she was talking about having 12 beta readers overall. And now that I think about it, I'm like, oh wow, I need more beta readers. So once I go and I get back all my feedback from my first round of beta readers, I'm going to have to go and I'm going to have to redraft the whole book until I'm sort of happy with it. And then I'm probably going to have to try and recruit more beta readers. I probably need at least another 3 beta readers. So that's 6. So that's really not a whole lot of beta readers, but it needs to be done. And it made me realize too that I'm not going to put this work out until I'm 100% happy with it. And if other people have feedback where I can fix plot holes, or if I can add more scenes and I can make this book what I want it to be, then I'm going to spend that extra time on this book. You know what? I was naive when I set that big timeline, that planning strategy for releasing my book in 2020, to release my book by June, and that's really unrealistic. I've still got my title to go, I've still got my book cover to design, I've still got my blurb to go. And I still have to probably go through 2 big edits before I give it to a proofreader. Do I want it to come out in 2020? Yes, I do. Is it possible to get it out by the end of the year? Yes, it is. But it will take a lot of hard work to actually get there. And I'm not going to rush this process. I'm just going to wait until the beta readers are finished with my first book. I'm going to do a whole lot of work on that one. But in the meantime, I'm actually working on my second book and doing a really detailed plan. The only reason why I'm working on that now is because the second book follows on from the first book, and I don't want there to be a really huge gap between both books. I think my time away from my book has been really good for me. I think this is the longest I've actually spent away from it. I think it's been like 16 or 17 days, something like that. It's been quite a while away from my writing. And stepping away from it, I've sort of realised that I haven't put as much filler scenes as what I probably should. There are some relationships that probably need more time spent on them. So my main character is probably going to get a few more scenes of her spending time with these characters and them sort of building bonds. So that's probably going to be a few more chapters as well to build up my word count. As well as the diary entries, I might have rushed the plot along a bit with the diary entries. So I'm thinking of inserting maybe 1 or 2 more diary entries and actually splitting up the chapters to make more chapters so I can put them in front of the diary entries, like the diary entries in front of them. So then my book is more wholesome. It's not skipping over things and things quickly happening. I want it to be paced well, and right now, thinking about my book, it's probably paced a little bit too quickly. I think the reason why I didn't do more filler chapters is because I thought that was enough, and I'm not particularly good at writing filler chapters or enjoy writing them. That's why I sort of tend to stay away from them a bit, but I'm actually considering writing some filler chapters before I get my beta reader feedback, so I can sort of like insert them where I need to insert them. But then another part of me is like, maybe I should write the filler chapters based on their feedback, so I can include whatever I missed previously. So I haven't decided just yet, but I will let you guys know. So this is where I'm at with my book publishing process, and this is my first experience with beta readers. If any of you guys are working on your own writing, let me know how you're going in the comments down below. And if you're interested in more writing related videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.